Back in 2007, Ubisoft released a game that would help define its legacy. The Surf's Up movie tie-in game. Oh, and also the first Assassin's Creed title, I suppose. With its action split between the modern day and the 12th century during the Third Crusade, Assassin's Creed wowed players with its captivating visuals, stealth-based combat, and unique approach to storytelling. 11 more installments, several spin-offs, and a below-average movie later, and the series is still going strong. One of the main selling points of the franchise is the vast number of historical locations players can visit. The American Revolution, Victorian England, the Golden Age of Piracy. Heck, Assassin's Creed Origins even had a mode designed specifically for school children to help them learn about ancient Egypt. With literally everything that's ever happened to choose from, the possibilities for future Assassin's Creed titles are endless. But if we had our way, then we'd be going to these times and places first. I'm Peter from TripleJump, and here are 10 historical settings we'd like to visit in Assassin's Creed. Number 10. The 100 Years' War. Fought between the English and the French, the 100 Years' War was a war that lasted from 1337 to 1453? That's 116 years! Whoever named this war was clearly more interested in combat than they were maths. Inaccurate name to one side, this conflict was one of the most important in Europe during the Middle Ages, as it established several trends and patterns that would repeat themselves in other wars over the next several centuries. This sounds important enough to pique the interest of a certain group of assassins, if you ask me. The series has technically already visited this time period before, as players in Assassin's Creed Unity can nip there for a while using one of the game's time anomalies, but come on, there's 116 years of history to get stuck into here. We're going to need to do more than a whistle-stop tour, thank you very much. With so much time to cover and so many moments to take inspiration from, including the famous Battle of Agincourt, the 100 Years' War offers a wealth of creative ideas for the team at Ubisoft to sink their teeth into. Just think how many buildings you could fling yourself from in 116 years. Number 9. India during the British Raj. For those who don't know, which is likely very few of you, Britain had a nasty habit of taking over places during its days as a global empire. That's sort of what global empires do. One of its most infamous overseas territories was India, which Britain influenced from the 17th century right up to 1947. In 1858, the British Crown assumed direct control over the country after a failed uprising, leading to the creation of the British Raj, which acted as the monarch's influence in the land. Some people were not so pleased with this arrangement, including a fella called Gandhi, who some of you might have heard of. Assassin's Creed has visited this time period before as well as part of their Chronicles sub-series, but a fully fleshed out trip to India is long overdue. Perhaps it could be an adventure set during the downfall of the Raj, with the protagonist having to survive in a country thrown into turmoil, helping to pick up the pieces. With what could be a stunning Indian background, which you don't see in many big budget games, this location would bring a lot to the table. Also, if we could somehow engineer a boss battle against Gandhi, then I would be very happy. He was probably capable of kicking ass, right? Number 8. Convicts in Australia. Between 1788 and 1868, thousands of convicted criminals arrived on the shores of Australia after being sent there by Ireland and Great Britain. I would love to stop dunking on the UK during this list, but honestly, we've done a lot of reprehensible things in our time. Whilst the worst offences were still punishable by death, lower-level crims were sent down under to avoid overcrowding in British prisons. Stolen an apple? Off to Australia with you. Looked funny at a policeman? To Oz you go. Accidentally took 2 leaflets when the sign said please take 1? I hope you like barbecues. Imagine a game that begins with the player character getting off a prison ship after a long, hard journey at sea. Perhaps our protagonist, Bruce or Sheila, sorry that's a bit reductive, is already an assassin sent away for their actions. Or they could be a petty thief whose potential is spotted by an older mentor who trains them in the way of the order. Both of those sound good to me. country, plus what I wouldn't give to be able to visit Uluru in a video game. Might be the closest that many of us ever get to it. Unlike with our previous entries, Assassin's Creed has never been to Australia, not even for a brief moment, something that a story like this could rectify. It would surely be Bonza, mate. I'm sorry, that's just what it says in the script, don't blame me. Number 7. Medieval China. Another location featured in the much shorter Chronicles game is China. Following female assassin Xiao Jun, the game sees her take on numerous enemies and even prevent an invasion of China by the Mongols. Think Mulan, but with less singing and more throat slitting. Whilst it's nice that a country with such a rich past has some representation in this series, there's still a lot more that could be done with a game set in China. Chronicles covers a few years in the 16th century, a mere drop in the ocean of Chinese history. There's the Age of Chaos that gave birth to the Five Kingdoms in the 10th century, the early days of the Ming Dynasty, and several other exciting time periods that I'm vastly underqualified to even mention here. Imagine all of the beautiful architecture and natural wonders that a game set in China could give us. Chronicles featured a battle on the Great Wall, for example, which would be an amazing thing to play through in a more modern title. Ubisoft should take the advice of Captain Shang and get down to business. Wait, what? They've actually announced they're doing a game set in China? Oh, well, that's fantastic news, but it slightly ruins the entry. Number 6. Salem, Massachusetts. You probably don't need me to tell you this, but we're not talking about any old period of Salem, Massachusetts history. A game set there in 1995, for example, probably wouldn't provide much excitement beyond watching which episode of The Simpsons was going to be on TV that night. We are instead, of course, talking about the most famous time in this town's lifespan, the period in the 17th century where various witch trials took place. Between 1692 and 1693, more than 200 people were accused of being witches, with 19 people being hanged, and one guy pressed to death by stones whilst being tortured to even just enter a plea, which seems excessive even by witch hunting standards. Controlling an assassin in a time and place where tensions between neighbours were at an all-time high would fit nicely with the game's themes of stealth and subterfuge. One wrong step, and you might find yourself taking a trip to the ducking stool. The Templars could easily be written in as the ones behind the pandemonium, because, let's face it, seems like something they do, with the hero on a quest to stop them before more innocent people end up being pressed to death for simply refusing to say, "Yes, I am a witch." Number 5. 1st century Judea. Though some of you might only know it as the punchline to a Monty Python joke, Judea is an ancient region of the Middle East that plays a crucial part in the story of the most popular religion in the world. That's right, we're talking about Jesus, so no blasphemy, alright? Otherwise his dad'll have ya. Jesus, be he a prophet, historical figure, the son of God, or whatever else you choose to believe he was supposedly born in the Kingdom of Judea in either the 1st century BC or the 1st century AD. This was also where he met his untimely end, as it was the location of his crucifixion some 30-odd years later at the hands of the Romans. Whatever he means to you personally, Jesus is a fascinating individual, and one that's already had a presence in the Assassin's Creed series for some time. The whole idea of Assassins and Templars is deeply rooted in religion, so why not just connect the dots and set a game during this vitally important time? I'm not saying that any characters should actually meet a video game depiction of Jesus, that would almost certainly not go down very well with certain groups of people, but his story would serve as an excellent backdrop to someone else's sneaky parkour-related exploits. Number 4. South America during the Age of Discovery. Oh, thank God. It's a country other than Britain doing some bad things. What a relief. Between the 15th and 17th centuries, European explorers got on their boats and went on various jollies across the globe, discovering so-called new lands that just so happened to have people already living there. But you know, that's beside the point when you're an explorer, right? Getting a bit more serious though, this period saw the vast and bloody conquest of South America by the Spanish and Portuguese, most notably by the conquistadors, who ravaged the lands of the Aztecs, the Incas, and the Mexicas, to name but a few. In 2011, before the release of Assassin's Creed 3, Ubisoft sent out a survey listing a bunch of possible settings for their upcoming game. One of them was this exact time frame, although it's failed to make an appearance in any Assassin's Creed game to date. Swashbuckling sword fights, battles through thick tropical jungles, a chance to participate in a major world event. The time of the Conquistadors was tailor-made for an Assassin's Creed experience, and it's honestly shocking that the developers haven't done it already. There is of course a game out there called Expeditions Conquistador, but that has far too much strategy and not enough assassination for my liking. God, who do you think I am? James Jenkins? Number 3. The Russian Revolution. For the most modern setting on this list, we're taking a trip to the frozen lands of Russia, a country with a famously tumultuous history. The Russian Revolution of 1917 had several contributing factors, but I'll do my best to summarize it here. Russia fights in World War I, World War I goes badly for Russia, Russian people get annoyed at their king, get rid of him, embrace socialism, and they all live happily ever after? No, I might have oversimplified things at the end there, but you get the picture. The former Soviet Union has been featured in various Assassin's Creed media, including a Chronicles game set in 1918, and comic books The Fall and The Chain, which center around Russian assassin Nikolai Orlov. But if a main AC game wanted to give us a story that's set a little earlier, during the actual revolution itself, then that would be alright with us. Playing a part in the downfall of the Tsar, or trying and failing to uphold the monarchy, a protagonist in this game would have a lot on their plate. Also, fights in the bleak 20th century Russian winter? Oh, yes please. I mean, no thanks, but yes please in a video game. Number 2. The Fall of Rome. Though Ezio visited the city in the 16th century during the events of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, no major game in the series has actually been set during Rome's peak as a world power, which is crazy to me. Literally every other form of media with a time travel mechanic has been to Rome at some point. Doctor Who has been there loads of times, and I'm pretty sure even Marty McFly probably went there once by accident or something. I don't know. Anyway, ancient Rome was another possible location for AC3 according to that 2011 survey. But beyond Julius Caesar turning up in Origins, this never bore fruit. If you're looking for a period of massive change in world history for an assassin to participate in, the decline of one of the most powerful empires of all time should do the trick. The fall of the Western Roman Empire happened gradually across the 4th and 5th centuries AD as more and more territories regained control from the emperor. A multi-year saga set across various warring locations would make for a great Assassin's Creed game, as a toga-wearing warrior tries their darndest to keep this crumbling collection of states together. It's worth noting that Assassin's Creed codename Hexe promises fun with Romans, but considering that the Empire spanned a millennium, it's anyone's guess as to whether we'll get to take part in its downfall specifically. Fingers crossed though, eh? And number 1, Feudal Japan. I can explain why this entry is in the number 1 spot with a single word: samurai. First rising to prominence during the Kamakura shogunate in the 12th century, the samurai were a warrior class of people who served as paid protection for powerful Japanese landowners. Over time, their status and military expertise granted political control to whoever wielded them, and their cultural impact on Japan can still be felt to this day. Though the main reason we like them is because they look really, really, really cool. The armor, the swords, the gosh darn ninja stars, it's all amazing, and more importantly, works when you plonk it into a video game, as the excellent Ghost of Tsushima proved. Plus, it would be great to finally get an Assassin's Creed protagonist that actually has a background in stealthy pursuits. A game with a samurai assassin would practically be a license to print money based on looks alone, and with a bevy of important Japanese historical moments to choose from, the story writes itself. As announced in September 2022, the upcoming Assassin's Creed codename Red will be set in feudal Japan, so this is another one we'll be able to cross off our list eventually, but we still have no idea when that game will be released or what exactly it will entail. Hopefully we'll see it soon enough though, because my katana finger is getting itchy.